Ash Fortis, Exo Stylist XO, and Stephanie Lawrence, Hair Princess Steph. Ash, why don't you tell us what you're getting started with?
Good morning, guys. All right, so I have my model. I'm going to be showcasing a technique I like to call light sourcing. So if you guys haven't seen this technique before, what I love about it is it's kind of bringing a little bit of the 90s back. Do you guys think the 90s are back? They're back.
Urban Outfitters, like all Champion and Stussy. Have you noticed that?
It's perfect. So, you know, I am seeing a trend of people wanting a little bit bolder, block placement, something that's still not maybe taking it all the way back to the 90s, but a way to reinvent them. So what I decided to do is kind of keeping in my mind the light sources. I want to keep the lightest colors around the face and underneath, right? A lot of our clients or our guests, what they do is they push their hair forward. How many of you guys have a balayage? Because this technique actually can be done balayage or with creative color. But a lot of my clients will come back and they just have this key area here where when they push their hair forward, they feel like it's lacking lightness or brightness. So what we do is we follow this whole zone underneath and we start with the lightest formula. You guys will kind of see that. And as we work into zones, moving into the crown, it gets to be the darkest formula. So basically what you see is a shift from darkest in the crown melting to a lightest color formula around the face. What about you, Steph? What are you working on?
All right, guys, so I'm so excited because you guys normally see me doing vibrance or pastels, and since the new toners came out, I'm obsessed with playing with them. I think it's very realistic to have your clients come in and want something more natural, more metallic-y. These are all intermixable. So last night I was playing with them. I actually mixed ash and rose gold, which that's a blue, green, yellow base with rose gold. And it was the prettiest iridescent, purpley, natural color. So really getting in there and mixing these together. What we've done is we've lightened Danica here with Blonde AF and 20 volume on her root. She's a normal model for me, so we just blank canvassed out her old color using 6 volume. What we did out back was we took Silver and Icy with 6 volume and we put it on her root. So because the hair is dry, it's gonna take a little better, act more as a demi, right? Instead of like a quick toner. Tell them hi. So, and I've custom mixed these. We have got violet and rose gold and icy, just icy, and then silver and icy. So really playing with them, mixing them, and they all look the same when they come out of the tube. Mix them up, put them on a paper towel, and let them sit there for 10 minutes. You'll be able to see what colors you like, what colors you don't like, what mixes well together. Try a bunch of different ones.
It's such a great tip because they are progressive, meaning they are more pigmented as they process. It's a great tip to look at it on paper and watch it as it goes. So you can really see where it's gonna go. You can stop it when you want. Again, like they've said, they are super fast, which is awesome behind the chair on a busy day. But if you want to slow them down, you add more developer in the ratio. It starts at like 1 to 2, but you can go, people go 1 to 6, right?
Yeah.
They slow it down quite a bit and can be super precise at the exact tone they want. So they get an entire range with just these 6 shades.
I also feel like the melt is very forgiving. It's fun because we rooted her and now I can drag some of that root down, but also mix it in with the icy that I just put on there, so it'll drag that silver down a little bit.
All right, guys, so if you're watching over here, you guys are seeing that the consistency of Pulp Riot is amazing. If you guys utilize this color behind the chair, what you'll know about it is the fact that it reduces application time, and you'll also use less. You guys can see I'm taking pretty large sections, and I'm just kind of getting the color in there. What's nice, too, is usually when I'm formulating color palettes, they're all kind of relatively in the same color scheme. What you guys will see with my model later is she's got a kind of like an orange sunset moving forward. So if the colors touch each other a little bit, I wouldn't be concerned about it. And one of the most fun parts is really customizing our colors. I've done this technique a few times. So I've utilized colors like blues and purples. And so this time I kind of went with colors that I just honestly thought really suited her skin tone. As colorists, I think it's one of the most overlooked thing, but one of the most prized thing, and what makes you an individual, what makes you have your signature style and your looks with your guests, is to take it a step further and really paying attention to what actually really works on their skin tone, on their eye color, what suits them. And another good thing about Pulp Riot is, as you guys can see, I'm not gonna be using any meshes. So what's nice about it is it just kind of encapsulates itself, creating a way for you to move faster with the security that you're not going to be mixing colors into each other. I'm gonna drag down this next section really quick to show you guys. So that would be zone 1. Again, I would be carrying this around the entire perimeter. And what I'm gonna do is This one, for you guys that want to know that formula, if you want a mint that has more blue to, you know, work with your canvas, she does have a little warmth towards the ends. Did you guys notice that? So when you think about your formula, what's going to be on the root, which is lighter and brighter, may show your formula one way, right? It's a level 10, very pale canvas. But the warmth in the hair may look more like a sea glass. So we diluted it with clear sea glass, and then we used a little bit of powder to kind of blue it up. Our next formula is one of my favorites, like a periwinkle. And that really helps. You don't have to worry about toning as much because she has yellow, and what does purple do to yellow, guys? Counteracts, right? So we just have this really nice periwinkle tone that we're working right off of it.
And I know Ash touched on the variations in the canvas. The best thing about Pulp Riot, or one of the great things, is you can throw your mix right on there for 5 minutes, and that's all you need with time. You'll be able to tell if it needs to be reformulated to cover any warmth. Super easy. You just throw in whatever you need to cancel out what you see there, and then you can move forward. And you don't have to wait the entire time at the end and be super disappointed for a adjustment.
So one of the things that I love about Pulp is that if you've noticed, they make their products multiple uses. So the Blonde AF, you can actually use on the scalp, in a foil, and you could use it for balayage. We now have the wonderful clay lightener, so it's whatever your preference is. But it's the same with the toners. You can mix it 1-to-1 with 6 or 10, or like Ruby said, she's mixed it higher, and you can give them a more permanent color. Or in the shampoo bowl, I mix it 1-to-3 with whatever tone I want. I watch it, and it processes like a beautiful toner for one of my blondes, or one of my caramel balayages. I'll just go a little heavier on the developer. When I'm melting with this, one of the things that I teach a lot with Vibrance is I don't put my color right on where I want it. With this, I do. So I have her old color. I'm gonna take the icy, I'm gonna go right over it there. I'm gonna come down the piece, and then I'm going to really blend in here and drag that root color down. That's gonna give me a really nice melt. And I'm just gonna keep going all the way down. It's a little more forgiving, in my opinion, than using Vibrance when you're melting.
Absolutely. And as you guys can see, we're just moving along with this. It's a really easy application. For those of you guys that might not know, our color has quinoa in it. So with quinoa, it's really moisturizing the hair. You guys are gonna see incredible shine. Most of the time, I don't use any after products, no shine sprays. Maybe a little hairspray or some of our Berlin for texture. But I love the shine that it creates. And how many of you guys struggle with removal of your creative colors? Almost everybody, if you've ever played with creative colors.
Yeah. Until blank canvas came.
Should be like, amen. So what's so nice about it is a couple things. Pulp Riot is the longest lasting, but it is the easiest to remove. In the last 2 years, I've probably had 2 situations where I couldn't remove color, and neither of the 2 were with Pulp Riot. So you don't run into that many issues, and now we have a product called Blank Canvas for you guys that want to have an extra sense of security with your color and the integrity of your hair. It's much more gentle than lightener, and it's much more effective. I usually use it with a 6 volume. The hair feels better conditioned than before we started, and we have a really great blank canvas.
Yeah, that's actually a common thing that we hear from people is with a lot of the color removers that the hair feels really compromised after, like it might as well have been done with lightener, right? So even though the color might even be removable, the hair is compromised so much you wouldn't have chosen to do it. With blank canvas, we often hear, I can't believe how great my hair feels. It was like it was a conditioner, which I'm not making a promise that it's a conditioner by any means, but I'm always really excited to hear the reaction about the hair and its condition after having all of the color taken out.
And Danica is one of my house models, and Emily, who's going to be coming out, she's one of my house models too. So we do their hair a lot, very often, especially
sometimes
with
twice a day.
Like twice a day, yeah. And especially with Emily having a graduation and also modeling, like we had to put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. And her hair, I've been doing her hair as a model for 2 years, and it is just as healthy as when we started, when I was doing it in the salon.
I'm a testament to that. Yeah. She has. And I think in one show, she did it in one day. Literally colored her, and then the next day, totally changed her and colored her again. Another key important thing I think worth sharing with you guys, too, is a lot of this is really deciding what kind of signature style that you guys want to put on. This placement, because of the direction of it, it's just going to give it, like I said, you're going to kind of visualize how you want the placement. A lot of people get caught up in, what is the exact details of a placement? I really encourage just thinking of placement as balayage and the flow of the hair and the shape of the head. She had shorter hair in their crown. So our darkest color is pretty dark. So I didn't want to make sure that the layer kind of continues. I don't want it to just have this little halo toupee. So I made sure that in the crown, it was more of like an egg shape, a little bit more of an oval instead of like a circle. And that, the length of the hair was something I thought about when I was creating it and customizing it. And for you guys that don't know a great silver, how do you guys struggle with silver? I'll give one formula, Steph can give next, okay? So if you're looking for the most perfect silver you have ever used and seen, if you want it for a very opally silver, mercury is great, it's violet based. So what you're gonna get from that is it's going to tone but give you still that opaly, silvery, really rich, light tone. But if you want a smoky gunmetal, very neutral gray that doesn't have too much blue or doesn't pull blue when you go to remove it, Steph's gonna give you that perfect formula.
So my favorite gray is taking smoke, and if you say you take a half a tube of smoke and you squirt it in, take a quarter to a half a tube of lava. I mean, you really want that much. Don't just put drops of it in. You're never gonna cut that blue. You really need a lot of that lava, and don't be afraid of it.
Especially if you did what I did. I went a lot more noir in mine. So I like to actually add depth. If you have something that's a level 8 and they really, really need to cut the gold, right? Maybe you're balayaging and that transition section just really needs good saturation. You're just gonna wanna make sure you're overcompensating for the noir, which is very heavily blue-based.
All right, we're gonna show some finished looks with these 2 techniques that they've done.
Go ahead.
This is Emily, that house model who keeps getting her hair done.